What is up, guys? Welcome to another beautiful day in the Matrix. We're back at it again. Meme coins are popping. Bull markets here. Everybody's excited. Bitcoin could be potentially testing the top of that bull flag that we have been talking about here on the next layer, and probably what you've seen on X.com with a lot of these big, crypto traders. But ultimately, this is going to be a great live stream today. We're going to get into meme coins. We're going to talk about TA. We're going to talk about narratives. We're going to be talking about all the stuff you need to set yourself up for this upcoming next leg of the bull market. Bill, what is up, my man? How are we doing today?
Bro, another day, another dollar, doing well. Look forward to these live streams. It's just we're in the time in the market where sleep's going to be a lot as a premium because these type of moments don't really happen too often. And I love the next layer because we talk, we all have our favorite chains, but there's so much going on in the ecosystem, different chains that we should all be aware of what's going on. And I love to educate people. So the time's now. So let's get it.
Absolutely. And, Bill brought up a great point. We're not exclusive to one ecosystem. We'll talk about TineX. We'll talk about Ethereum. Bill's really great at base. So if we ever want to talk about base, Bill can give us that inside alpha. So our goal is to give you guys information that helps you guys succeed, because if you guys succeed, we succeed. Now, let's just get in this market. Bill, we're starting to see some price action with Bitcoin. You're starting to see the headlines saying that Bitcoin's going to $500,000. What's your reaction to the current market movements, and what do you expect for Bitcoin coming into the fall? Into the fall.
Well, number one, anyone saying it's going to 500 million is smoking some stuff. They're going to be using you guys as exit liquidity. I don't see in any specific world it gets that level. Maybe next cycle, but like that's some crazy talk. But I do think Bitcoin, my opinion, probably 150, 200, I think will be the max. But I'm bullish, man. And there's a lot to be bullish about, especially with the last solar eclipse happening in a solar cycle, which is in October. People don't understand astrology. You don't need to know it, but the people that are in charge running this matrix do know it, do use it. And I'm extremely bullish. I'm extremely bullish, especially with the Fed basis cuts. Everything is aligning to, my opinion, 2 to 3 weeks of just massive runs with your altcoins. Let's figure it out as to what happens around election time. I don't know, but if I were you, not financial advice, but you should have your bags ready, locked and loaded, because I think the next few weeks are going to be really fun. What are your thoughts?
Bullish, man. Bullish across the board. And we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about how the solar eclipse was a key date. We were talking about interest rate cuts, and now that interest rate cuts have occurred, we got money entering the market. Now's the time to get rocking and rolling, because from now and up until the blood moon, that is when we're going to see millionaires made. And on top of that, it's going to be no sleep season. You got to stay focused. Don't worry about all the craziness going on in the media. Don't worry about what your friends are doing. Don't worry about going to the bar and eating cake and ice cream. You can do that way after this market. Focus on the business, and once you get business taken care of, then go have fun. That's my big advice. Now, one thing I want to talk to you about, Bill, before we get into our first narrative, because we're seeing the Sui ecosystem blow up, and we gotta talk about what we're seeing going on. Coming into this next phase of the bull market, you always talk about profit-taking strategy. Anyone that's getting into meme coins or altcoins, what profit-taking strategy would you suggest to them, not financial advice?
Yeah, I mean, number one, you do have to understand that if you don't take profits, someone else will. And there's no guarantee a lot of these projects will ever come back to the levels that they are. So you never go broke by taking profits. I want people to understand that. Even if you think this project's going to the moon, take profits when you see a giant red candle or green candle up. If it's vertical, it's not going to stay vertical, guys. It's just that's impossible. There's going to be profit takers, and there's dump. Whatever that number is to you, just take some. You don't have to do all, but skim some. So for me, I use fib levels. I use I chart stuff. But even if you don't, just take some like off the table to be like, hey, I'm happy with what I received. And if it drops down, I can rebuy in. But if it continues goes up, you have a moon bag. So I can't stress more than enough. Always have a moon bag, because ideally, if you could take your initials out and some profit, who cares what happens? Let it ride. So that's by far the best advice. And you can always use that capital that you initially put in to another project, keep it on dry powder, whatever. But that's definitely my advice. Take your capital initials as soon as you can.
Love it. Love it. Great advice from a very wise man. Awesome. Now, let's get into our first segment. We got to talk about what's going on with Sui. I know you guys have been seeing this blockchain blow up, so I'll put you guys on game because this is actually a very interesting story and a very interesting piece of research I've been doing for the past couple of days in and out of working on projects and stuff. Now, if you guys have been familiar with how this market's running, we always talk about someone called the market maker. A lot of people think that there's someone behind the scenes pushing up, propping up certain projects. And now, based off of a CFTC filing, we can actually verify that's true. So there's a founder of Jump Crypto, and his name is Kanav Kiria. My apologies if I butchered that name. But essentially, what happened with Jump Crypto was they were a popular market maker for Solana. The CFTC recently just came in and said, hey, you guys have been doing manipulative practices on Solana, and we're going to investigate you for market manipulation. So what happened was these guys actually sold all their positions on Solana, and then also on the flip side, they sold all their positions on Sui. So Sui actually had a massive dip because of the scandal, and this happened over the summer. And the articles behind this were extremely hush hush until they recently came out the past couple of weeks. Now you might be asking yourself, okay, so this guy had a bunch of Sui through his firm. Why does this impact the Sui blockchain? Well, Sui actually just got a new market maker, and it's going to be Winter Mute. And so, what these market makers like to do is they make sure that when they look at these liquidity pools and they look at the price of each token, they make sure that the price of each token, each of these liquidity pools, are the same price and they're balanced out so that if you're a trader, you don't get impacted by arbitrage or rapid changes in the price. Total breakdown. Basically, what they're trying to do is make sure that if you make a trade, you won't lose a bunch of money if you start to use the blockchain. What it's turning out is a lot of these market makers have been actually propping up the market. Now, when it comes to Sui, because they got Wintermute and they have a new flow of capital coming onto the chain, we're starting to see the Sui blockchain blow up. Now, I want you guys, I just want to show you guys the chart just so that I know I told you a bunch of information. So let me show you the chart and it should tell you the news. That's the best way to really put this. So when Jump Finance sold, it was on this day right here. You can see this beautiful red candle coming down. And that sell off resulted in about a 44% drop on Sui. Since then, we started to see this massive corrective pattern, and then we bottomed out on August 5th of this year. And then now we're seeing a massive reversal coming up and flirting with all-time highs. Now, before I get into the rest of the chart analysis, Bill, what are your initial thoughts on the Sui blow up? And do you think this is all just smoke and mirrors, or do you think it's a legit blockchain in your opinion?
Honestly, I was sharing with you. I'm not bullish on Sui, but I understand manipulation occurs, and everything you're saying does indicate to me that there's some stuff going on behind the scenes. That's going to propel this thing. Obviously, number goes up is the best form of marketing in any of crypto, but and so I can see this having a massive run. I don't want people to think, oh, what a hater Bill is. No, I mean, at the end of the day, if someone or entities are propelling something for whatever reason, that's bullish. So the chatter around Sui is extraordinary. If you remember last cycle, Solana went from I don't know, $1.50 to $2 to 200, something of that nature. So if the powers are to be with everything are going to want to now push this narrative, then follow the money. If I didn't know that news, I'd be like, whatever. But I guess you have to take note, especially if you're in the trenches. You got to see the opportunities. I don't like it like a base or nothing, but take it for what it is, an opportunity to grow your bag. So I probably will have to bridge over, even though I just don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, also on the flip side, there's so many blockchains in this market, so it's hard
Yeah.
to keep up on every single one. So I mean, it's understandable if you just let it happen because, or you just sit on the sideline because there's always going to be something mooning in crypto. But I think I think, just to add on to what you say, like, I agree, man. There is definitely a lot of market manipulation coming behind this project. And what I really think is going on here is Sui and Aptos are actually backed by the team that was working on the Libra blockchain. And Libra was supposed to be integrated with Facebook, but that got shut down. So the Libra team split up and founded Sui and Aptos. Now, Aptos is trying to get into real world assets, and Sui is going on to the gaming side. And so, what I think is happening right now is Sui is about to bring out their games. They're about to bring out a lot of their really cool DeFi products. And also, the Sui Foundation has been supporting a lot of meme coins on the chain. So, what I personally think is happening is they spend a bunch of money building this blockchain, and after the Libra project failure, and then now we're starting to see it actually blow up. So that's just my analysis on the situation. Any thoughts on that, Bill?
No, I mean you've hit the nail on the head. I think it's something to watch out for as the market moves in the next few months. Because again, it's risk on assets are going to explode now, and so SWE, if it continues that way, you're going to have. I do see a lot of resistance coming up though, around the $2 range, 230. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily buy in right now on the asset itself. Obviously, I never like buying on a candle that looks like that with upwards resistance, but look for entry if you're interested.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Bill on this assessment. So this is a clear inverse head and shoulders, and you can do a rough target. And based on just the rough target, we actually hit that rough target. And then if you come over here to what Bill was saying, there's a bunch of resistance across here. So chances are, and the theory behind this is if you come in and someone were to, buy. Oh, well, Bill just dropped out. He'll be on in a second. So in theory, someone were to come in, buy the top right here, and then dip down, buy the top right here, and then come back down. Then when you come back and the price retraces, this is where you're going to have a huge amount of resistance before the price comes up and goes into price discovery. So my analysis on this is we're going to test all-time highs. We could trade sideways, or we could come down here, test out this magnet, and then boom, W on out. And and just to solidify that analysis, I'm going to bring up our Elliott bands. So, excuse me, Fibonacci bands. My apologies. I don't know why I called it Elliott bands. Oh, there he is. You still there, Beth?
Yeah, I was actually just turning off the camera for a second, but I actually just kicked my ass out. Whoops.
Oh, well, hey, glad to have you back, man.
Missed you.
So, so we came up here to the 0.706, touched it. Now we're coming back down. Chances are, we do have that magnet point out at 0.382 that follows the Fib retracement tool. And then we could hit the 0.5. That's also another good retrace to load up. But ultimately, man, I think the price looks really good. Now, I want to talk about some meme coins. And we do get into meme coins on this show, and Bill loves meme coins. I love meme coins. So I'm going to tell you guys about the one that I'm looking at that I think could be a potential sleeper. Now, if you guys are a big fan of Pokemon, well, there's a project that actually recently launched. Actually, not recently launched. It was about 6 months ago. And the name of this project is Suicune, and it's after the Suicune purple blue horse on Pokemon. If you guys are big Pokemon fans, you probably know what I'm talking about. I never got into Pokemon, so I didn't have no idea that this thing existed until 6 months ago. But ultimately, someone came out with this narrative about a Pokemon. It goes into the legendary Pokemon horse thing. And since it launched, this thing did a crazy 500x retrace, and then now it's actually exploding right now. So in my opinion, with this type of narrative, I think the Pokemon falls in line with the Asia narrative that Swee's really big a part of. I think there's a lot of Pokemon fans that are going to click hard to this project. And the Twitter account has a very ambitious developer who's been promoting this project across the board. So that's actually my number one pick for the Sui blockchain that nobody's talking about. Bill, any thoughts on Suicune or any initial reactions?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know anything that's going on in the Sui ecosystem, but I do know that if you're bullish on something, I got to look into, and then I got to talk to the Trench Warriors, DJ Ceramic in the house. That man, if he's listening, Chad in the house, this guy knows all the stuff on DJ and culture. So I'll run it by him, see what he says, and if he gives me the green light, then we probably have to ape.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So me personally, this is one I've been in for a minute. And, a little backstory. Trey Souls, the other part of the verse, he actually found this project right about here at 0.00167.
Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. He's like, man, you gotta check out this thing called Suicune. And I was like, I don't know about that. And from when we made an entry, we got up about right around 40%. We took some risk off right here because we were just risking it for the biscuit. And then when double top came down and then retrace. So what I'm seeing on the chart right now is just like the sweet chart, you can see a beautiful inverse head and shoulders on the daily right here. We just broke out, and then now we're coming back into a bunch of resistance over here. So if there's a retracement or a drop down, chances are it's probably going to come somewhere close to, I would probably say 0.021118, the max. That's going to be an opportunity to load up. If we fall past this line, then we'll probably come back down to the neckline at 0.012. That'll be a good time to load up. And then your target is just all-time highs. So
yeah,
just my thoughts on the situation. Yeah, man. So that's all I had for Sui. Any final thoughts on Sui and this new narrative blowing up?
no, I mean, I think it's something to keep an eye on if you're in the trenches, along with other chains. It's hard, like I said, it's hard to get attention, keep attention on a chain. And so, if you didn't tell me about the jump narrative, I honestly would be like, yo, I don't. If Tron can't survive and capture the DJ intentions, why would Sui? But because the powers to be are manipulating it, it might be around for a while. So worth checking it out if you haven't already.
Absolutely. And last thing I just want to say about Sui, I talk about the market maker in all my live streams, and it makes me look crazy. But now that article came out, I don't look crazy anymore. So I know they're doing this, but hey, man, it just is what it is. I'm sure we'll hear more stories about it. So, man, we got a lot of stuff going in the market. We got Ethereum. You're the base guy, man. You know a lot about base. What meme coins / narratives are you looking at?
So right now I would fade. So yeah, I love base. We know that. By the way, I don't know if you know, Chris, but my Jesse interview hit 2,800 or 2,850 mints. It was trending #1 on Coinbase Wallet. Pretty dope. I think I need to just like let that be. It could be like a good entry point. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I love base. And I love the meme coins on base. So for me, what I'm personally focused on is not any new launches. I don't think you should worry about a new launch. I mean, there's a time and place for it, but I think right now the opportunity lies on the projects that have completed their wave 2, entering wave 3, that have been cooking, building in the last few months when this market has been dead or the volume has been dead. So to me, I've said it to you many times, Chris, and I'll say it again. Brett and Eagles by far are my two jams in the base ecosystem. And I've been calling Brett or Miggles for a while. I was sitting at like 18, 19 in Goose Group. I kept saying, get Miggles. It's going to move, and it's going to move hard. And we're seeing that. And I think, let me see if I could pull up something real quick. I just think Miggles is going to crush it. And if you notice, let's see. How do I do this? And yeah, I'm like probably the only person who uses who still uses Dex tools. Let me share my screen real quick.
I got you.
And I know DJ Ceramic's got big Brett's bags, and I tend to agree with him. Okay, so if you see Miggles, this is just a beautiful chart, man, and it's just super clean how I'm keeping it. And this resistance, so this horizontal resistance have been in place since July 21st. So that's what I'm saying. Like right now is not necessarily the time to worry too much about new launches. I mean, yes, there's a time and place, but like something like this has already has been around. You know, it's going to stay around, and has only solidified itself as a top meme. Is what I like to do. I like to kind of get in here. So if you notice this blue line, this horizontal resistance has been resistance since July of 2020 or 2024, July 20th, and then it didn't break out until September 20th. So the moment it broke out, and again in trading, if it breaks out, you still need confirmation because there could be, you know, deviation or a fake out as we call. This thing is confirmed the breakout. So this is about a 2-month cook. And so if you notice Elliott waves, clear Elliott wave, this is your whole wave 1, this is your whole wave 2. What happens next, gentlemen? Wave 3. It's going to come, then you have a wave 4, then a wave 5. The question is, wave 3, how far does it go? That we don't know, but that's the theory, and that's what I expect. So if you just look at this, you take a measure move of this triangle, you're at 815%. You take that from the breakout. Just from this alone, it should get you to 200 million,
200 million.
right? So that's the measured move from that. That's what I'm personally targeting for my wave 3. And if you notice, and I've told you about this many times, Chris, you do a trend-based fib extension. What is the 1.618 at? 1.618, boom, 200 million, which is the measured move of this triangle, 200 million. So not financial advice, but I'm thinking this next leg up is going to take Miggles to 200 million. Right now, I think it's at 28 million. I mean, you can't be upset at that if you can get that kind of move on a blue chip asset like Miggles. And I've heard a lot of chatter about their market maker. I think Q4, everything they're doing is showing me that Miggles is going to be a top contender. And if I can get in an adjust or just on charts alone, it shows a $200 million move. I'm in. So you do you, but these type of opportunities don't present itself too often. I know I'm rambling a lot, but let me ask you, Chris, what are you bullish on in base?
I love Miggles. I think you convinced me. You had me sold on Miggles because based on your analysis and a lot of the stuff you're talking about, I absolutely love it. I love the measure move. I looked at the confirmations. I was actually looking at the stochastic RSI this morning, and everything tells me that, you know, this project's about to make a move. I love the NFTs that they're coming out with, that collection. The team is constantly building on top of it. They're generating excitement behind this project. Now, the one thing that I really love about Miggles, and let's see if I can, I'm gonna try to bring up well, actually no, I'm not gonna bring up this video, but if you guys remember that Coinbase cat commercial of Miggles licking like a fish or some ice cream or something, that thing is going to be a huge spark to the Miggles chart when we start to see Coinbase roll out their marketing during the bull market. Because you guys got to understand, when we start to see the bull market come back, Coinbase, all of these exchanges are going to be going absolutely crazy when it comes to trying to onboard people into their app. And I guarantee you there's going to be a Mr. Miggles commercial that's going to cause this thing to explode. So that is my number one thing that I am bullish on. I like Brett, like you said. And then the other one is I'm looking at this new launch. It's called Blurb.finance. We spoke about it in the past, and I'll bring it up real quick. So my reasoning behind this new project has a lot to do with these NFT or these token creation models. Because one thing I'm noticing is after we had Pumped Off On, we had Ether Vista roll out. We had I believe it was something called the Chef token creation factory. And then now we have this one that's exclusive for base, and they're adding their own little twist to it with the NFT 404 standard. So I'm actually looking at potentially getting into a new project. And keep in mind, this is a risk it for the biscuit type of scenario. So I'm going in. There's a good chance that this could do extremely well, or I just lose it all and then it just goes to zero. So in my mind, what I'm thinking about is number one, Miggles as a catch-up trade for Brett. And then number 2, risk it for the biscuit. Check out blurb.finance when this project launches, see if it does well, and then roll that back into Brett. So sorry I went on a whole entire rant, but ultimately, man, need to talk to you. Bull market's coming around. Do you see any big movements with the base ecosystem? And do you see Jesse bringing on any new bullish catalysts for this chain?
It's tough, right? Because I think bull market comes, liquidity's flowing. I think the chart speaks volumes for themselves. I think naturally the money, the degen culture is going to come into the chain, slowly happening on its own because people trade charts, and the communities that are building on it are just massively pushing. They haven't given up. Like I speak to literally every single day, all sorts of teams, and it's just the energy is electric. And so base is going to explode. Do I think Jesse's going to have a thing to do with it? If I'm being honest with you, I think the answer is no. Reason being is Jesse and team is more focused on the actual applications, the actual building of the infrastructure that's going to onboard the 1 billion plus users. And to some people that upsets them, right? Because, you know, degen culture wishes, hey, just have the leaders shill our bags and just, you know, they feel like they're not being heard. And I disagree in that sense because right now he's going to support quality projects. He's all about memes. He knows that as a part of the economy in crypto, but that's not going to necessarily bring in the 1 billion users. So I think the next leg up is not going to be fueled from him, but he's more focused on creating value for the chain, which is extremely important. But it's going to be fueled by, you know, people like us talking about it, people in the trenches who are building projects talking about it. But make no mistake, man, I think Miggles is showing the way that the volume is there. It's coming. And I think Brett's going to be the leading indicator. And when Brett moves, and it will move, in my opinion, to the upside, I think then everyone's going to be flocking to base. So I'm ready, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think Brett's basically the number one marketing tool for base at this point. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you about, did Base ever indicate about launching some sort of token that we've seen? Like, for example, on Optimism, they have the OP token, I believe that was, or is it OPT? I can't remember, but
I think it's OP.
OP. Yeah. So do you think Base would ever launch a token like that for their chain?
I don't think so. And the reason why I don't think so is because, you know, they like to do everything by the book and they're not a grift. You know, with all due respect to other chains, launching your own token is kind of a grift move. Obviously, the founders are going to cash out that way. And, you know, rightfully so. But I think Coinbase positioned themselves differently because to them, they probably, first of all, they don't need the money. You know, multi-billion-dollar corporation, publicly traded in America, the number one leader, and they can capitalize using Ethereum. They're a bunch of older school generations where it's just like, why do we need their own token? This is just my hypothetical view. Why do we need our own token and deal with all the securities, the regulations, the scrutiny that will come from that? Because, you know, Gensler is going to absolutely look into that as like, why the hell are you guys issuing this token? It's a security. You're already going to be in hot water. Now you're going to be hot water more. So if they don't need that scrutiny, they don't need to be that way, and they want to set a good precedent, why do they need their own token? That's how I look at it. And they can get the fees, you know, the way from people using the chain. And obviously, if you keep it on ETH, you know, a lot of the old school people on Farcaster are all ETH maxis, right? So you want to not alienate that segment, which is like all the rich friends and whales. So in my opinion, I don't think it's happening. So I don't think that's going to be a catalyst. Would it be? It's kind of like the Uniswap thing, right? Everyone's wanted a Uniswap token, but it never happened. And I think they're just too deep in the trenches with the powers to be to ever make that jump. What are your thoughts?
I agree, man. I think, well, just to add on what you said, you brought up a great point that with these layer twos, the teams do earn fees to keep development going. And I find this as a major point of confusion with a lot of people in the space. So basically, when you have these transactions bundled on a layer two and improved on the main chain, which is going to be Ethereum, they add a small fee that goes to the foundation address, and then the foundation uses that to pay for developers and keep it active. From my understanding, it costs millions of dollars to maintain that L2 every year. So it makes sense that they do something like that. And I like the Coinbase model. I like that they're not launching this token that has high dilutions and a massive FDV. And I think by focusing on the meme coins and the projects on top of it, the chain will sell itself. And there's one other chain that comes very close to it that I really like a lot is Blast, because what Blast does is they take this model and they give it to people who add liquidity to the chain, and they basically give it back to the users. But for all the other chains like the Polygons, the Matics, the Optimisms, the Arbitrum, they're using that token and they're dumping right on you. So I do not like those governance tokens whatsoever. So I'm in complete 100% agreement with you. I think what Base did was awesome. And I think they positioned themselves to be one of the best L2s. The question right now is which meme coin is going to be the dominant one, or is there a meme coin to overtake Brett? That's the real question. And I don't think so. And I'm sure you agree with me on that one.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think Brett's I think Brett is too far established, but it's just like the SHIB Doge of 2021. There's always going to be a number two that takes, a lot of the market share. I think if you're Brett, don't be alarmed when you see someone else. So to me, I think I know a lot of people like Niggles, obviously, and I know a lot of people like Toshi. And Toshi's been kind of an OG, and there's a very tight-knit community, and there's drama between Toshi and Biggles, but I think one of those will be at the top with Brett. That's how I see it. But again, it'll be interesting to see how things play out. But I'm excited for Base, and I was also saying I have like Fofar PTSD, Stray, not from the Base one, but from Tron, and I know DJ feels that because we thought that thing would just rip, and all it did was rip downwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've been screwed on the Fofar one on ETH. I don't know. I'm cursed, bro.
Yeah. I got into the Fofar one on ETH really early here. I'll bring up the chart. Well, this is the one on Base, right? Oh wow. Hold on. Let me go to daily. Whoa, dude, look at this. Dang, this thing actually ripped.
Yeah.
I love how.
Why didn't you, bro? Stray, show it to us. At the bottom, bro. Don't hold the alpha.
Dude, Stray, you're holding out on us, man. I mean, come on, man. I'm just kidding. But yeah, dude, this thing did, well, let's say to the all-time high, it did about a 288%. So that's a sign. But yeah, about 3x.
Do you want me to show you one that's, if you're interested, I could show you one that I think is a low cap and that has a chance to rip pretty decently on Base. Do you want to know one of those?
Yeah, let's check it out, man. Let's do it.
Right. And I actually, just for full disclosure, I don't own a single one. But they were just actually we just did an interview. They wanted to jump on the podcast, and anytime that projects take the time to jump on the podcast shows me that they have great intentions. So I just kind of want to just share to you, Chris, and whoever's watching. This is a 400K market cap coin. It's called Worky. And the reason I like Worky, and again, you guys do you. I don't own it. They haven't paid me to do any of this stuff to shill it, but I just think it's a good chart. And it's a good example of why I like Base, because so basically its all-time high was like 3 million. Right now it's 435K. So I do see this heading back to, the 3 million mark, which would be, 7x or something. But the thing I like about projects like this is, and it shows a lot in this time frame, this is the make or break point. Right? You can have in July that no one was on Base, people hated it. So there's two decisions. A project can either rug to zero, which is what a lot happens, or they just constantly put their head down and they build and they grind and they worry about what they can, which is the community. And then what happens is you're starting to see this little, U shape. And this is like why I like projects like this. It's about to pass by the 888 fib. So this thing is going to go. And so I just wanted to share stuff that I like when I see it. I probably should buy because I think, honestly, this is going to go up. Like, there's no resistance. All the holders are left, another 4x. I think, honestly, if you're looking at Base micro cap, Worky, honestly, and they're really good people. The episode airs next week. But this is the type of stuff I like to see from projects who won't give up.
I love that, man. And if I recall, I saw that chart. That thing looks like it's at the neckline of a massive cup and handle. So yeah, it is. It's in it. It is in its make it or break it. So if it blow past that cup and handle, maybe get a couple confirmation, and then go to
I
the
mean,
all-time highs, that'd be crazy, man.
honestly, I see like if you're looking at a 5 or 6x, you want something, you got that right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think projects like that, they usually come out of nowhere. Actually, you know what? I want to show you this chart. This one, I'm kicking myself because we were talking to Goo God about this, and we were like, I was literally, I remember I even drew the Elliott wave triangle because you were teaching me about this. I was like, oh, okay, I got what Bill was trying to talk about. So we come over here, and then
What coin is this? Goo?
yeah, Goo, the cat coin.
Is this the one that like mooned to like 20 million?
Yeah, yeah.
That was what
So
the chart looked like.
yeah, so we
Wow.
were right here, and so we were talking. We're like, okay, so this is in a sorry, I just Elliott triangle wave. So I just want to make sure I say it right. So this is an Elliott triangle wave. So you have a start point when it dips down, you touch A, you have a B, C, D, and then when you hit E, then once we come up, test it, get a confirmation, retest, see you later.
Did
So
I
what is
was I the one? I was the one who told you that, right?
yeah, I was learning
Yeah.
from you.
Yeah.
So we go through and look at this, and this was a great example because I was actually learning from Bill about this, and then it broke down, came up, tested here, and then we were just like, okay, this is a no-go, which we were right because it came all the way down and then died. But out of nowhere, after a couple months, see you
Wow.
later.
That's wild. Wow. See, that's insane. And you know what? So that long period where there was no one buying or selling, that just shows that you have the loyal holders. All the G's were out, profit takers. And then out of nowhere, they pushed it. That's the kind of coin that everyone wants to be a part of. And that's just, I mean, what was the measure move? Just so I know too. I mean, did the measure move take you to that bottom level? Do you know?
Down
I'm genuinely
here,
curious. Yeah, would that be the measure moved?
I'm just gonna do a rough. So nah. Wait, so when you did the measure move, do you measure the distance from point E to the top and then break down? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. Did I do
Yeah.
that right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's basically where, well, yeah, you just basically do that. So I'm just genuinely curious. So basically, it took you down here. I don't know what the fib retrace was, but that ended up being the resistance. That's why it was curling and it kind of formed like a double bottom at the bottom. So yeah, that makes sense that it just popped. I do think Shrey is right on though. I'm looking at his message. I do think Chomp's gonna fucking run 100%.
Chomp.
Yeah, I actually do. I actually think I need a bridge over. And the reason why I need a bridge over, let me just share this real quick.
Chomp.
Yeah, let me share this real quick. That was a good call, Shrey. I think that's good advice. And the reason why is because, okay, a couple of reasons. Number one, these are the type that I like. Oh no, not this one. Although I do like that one too. All right, let's get Chomp. Okay, so why do I like Chomp? And this is kind of the reason why. So you see how a clear, or let me go to a bigger screen. Man, I love okay, so as you see here, this is a clear one wave move, right? I think everyone can kind of see that. If you don't, we'll teach you later, but this is a clear one wave. This right here was your two wave. If you notice, this is, let me just, don't worry about that. Don't worry about this one. But if you hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is a clear two wave. And the time is since June into now was the bottom of September. So that's a massive multi-month correction, which is natural. Now, if you notice, Chris, we always talk about the 888 fib retrace, reverse fib retrace, which is kind of like an alpha level. We always know it hits that. So when it goes under, that's bearish. But the thing is, once it goes under, it has two choices. Does it go to zero or does it reclaim it? When it reclaims it, you tend to see a massive move because that shows the strength is back. All the sellers are gone. Wave 3 is about to happen. And I can see it doing the same exact thing as Miggles. There's like very little resistance. This probably will have a pop up, maybe a little resistance here. I actually do think I need to buy a bag. To me, this measured move would take me just to be a little safe. I always take it to the 1.618. What would that be? Just generally curious. $1.63. What is it now? 10 cents? Damn. 14x potentially.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I'm aping.
Yeah, I bet, man. That's crazy. And sorry, I'm taking a look at these measure moves because I think it's a little bit more of a feasible approach when it comes to doing these forecasts out of like cup and handles and inverse head and shoulders. But yeah, man, I do agree with a project like Chomp. And well, first off, I'm gonna say shout out to Stray because Stray is a gem finder. That guy knows everything going on in every blockchain. I don't know how that guy sleeps, but he always has a gem for me when we live stream. And then also number two, I think Chomp is one of these projects that nobody's talking about. So I think overall, I think it's a good play. Did you go on a podcast with him at all with Chomp?
No, so Chomp, I never did a podcast, but I'm actually having so their biggest KOL is Penn, and Penn is a very big, well-known KOL. He's actually jumping on the podcast on Monday, and I'm going to talk to him about Chomp. I'm going to talk to him about Chomp, but all these projects, when they say they come out of nowhere, I look at it two ways. It could come out of nowhere, but if no one's talking about it, it's going to be hard. But the ones that I'm actually really bullish on are actually now like Chomp. And actually, I do know I chatted with one of the main guys. But the thing with Chomp is with a KOL like Penn that everyone will follow, the moment that thing gains traction, he's kind of like a Crash, not as big, but people follow his advice. And so he has that influence. So if you get a chart like that with a KOL that has a lot of respect and there's volume coming in, I do see something like Chomp just going crazy. So yeah, man, shout out to you, Shrey. I'm actually going to buy, and I might actually buy a little bit with size because I just don't see downside. I see a wave 3 forming, and then once it hits those levels, probably I'm going to sell and scale and wait for the inevitable multi-month correction.
Oh man, I love it, dude. I love it. I think plays like Chomp and Miggles, that's what's going to set you up if
Yeah.
after we have that multi-month correction. When you say multi-month correction, are you talking like closer to the blood moon or before the blood moon?
Before. So what I'm thinking, honestly, I think there's 2 more pops left in this cycle, in this bull run. On record saying by March, the market's going to literally hell. Too many people are thinking it's going to be 8, 12, 18 months, end of 2025. Euphoria. Like, no, I feel every bull run gets shorter and shorter after the halving. Too many people are going to win in 2025 if they wait till September, December. That's the consensus thinking. I see no chance. I see it would really screw up a lot of people if the bull run ends by March. Everything aligns that way. So for me, I think there's going to be 2 runs, and I could be wrong, but I think the next couple weeks is the initial where everything goes parabolic for your alts. That's alt season 1, and I think that would take us to the wave 3. But again, it like I said, I don't want you guys to bank on having a second wave. I just don't know, but I do feel there's going to be one wave, and then ideally October, November, December, middle of January, the correction's done, and then one last final, like Bitcoin goes crazy, everything goes massive, and that's your last run. That would be ideal. But just, if I were people trying to be cautious, just wait till at least secure profits on your way up on this next leg, because there's no guarantee the second leg is going to come. But that's how I see it. But again, by March, out.
Yeah. I think with what's going on with Bitcoin, I do agree with you. Everyone's saying end of 2025, which I don't believe whatsoever. And then number 2, the price target. That's the thing that I fear the most, because we found gems and we know what's going on, what the best projects are on every chain. It's just a matter of when they pop off. So I spend so much time learning technical analysis and trying to figure out when's the best time to get out, or when is there signs of trouble. And the one thing I noticed with Bitcoin is everybody's saying the same exact thing. Either $115 is the top or $152,000. So in my mind, I don't think it's going to be either one of those, and I don't think it's going to be something in between. I think it's either going to be way like the top of Bitcoin's going to be way above that, or it's going to be way under that. You know what I'm saying? So I think in this next leg, I do agree with you. There's going to be two pops, but I think the top price of Bitcoin is going to surprise everybody because that's what's happened in the past couple markets. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it is gonna. I think it's not gonna be easy to digest, but there's a lot of charts out there that will show, like, based on RSI, based on liquidity cycles. Like, there's just so much to do and to think. So I think it's not going to be a number everyone expects. I mean, what would really get people is if it doesn't break 100K. That would really like blow people's minds, and then that creates like a potentially like a triple top of like, or maybe get to like 74 again, and then that was your, and then alts go up, and then it just doesn't go past it. That would really screw up this ecosystem. But I don't know. But I'm basing everything this time on timing. Whatever it's at, like I have to stick to my guns and my hypothesis that I've had for the last, like, God knows how long.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that's the best way to really proceed in this market. And regardless of what the price of Bitcoin's going to be and how long it's going to be, if you have the opportunity to get your initial out of this market, take it. If you have your opportunity to make life-changing money that could potentially pay off your house or get rid of some debt, take it. Any opportunity you get, take it, because you can't ever play the what if game. What if I left it in and I made $1 billion? What if I did this? What if I did that? If you're asking yourself that, get out of the market.
Yeah.
That's my biggest piece of advice. And if you want to say it's financial advice, go ahead, because I'm trying to help you guys. Well, I probably should say that, but you guys get the point. So, proceed with caution. And like I said, me and Bill are going to be continuing to do our stuff here on the next layer. Bill, is there anything else you want to talk about? If there's any other nares or meme coins that you are looking at?
Yeah, the last thing I'll say is right now there's a little mini cycle going on ETH. I think ETH is the king of all chains and the good kind of shining light as to let's get some action back. It's a good indicator as to what's going on. So right now ETH is doing its thing, and I think ETH is something people need to pay attention to because the last couple of days have been pretty crazy. So for instance, eDoge is something that I'm very bullish on. And, let's just go to the eDoge chart. And I know there's like two different types, but for instance, eDoge is like the mascot now of ETH. People like Penn are pushing it. I know there's a different one as well. I have both. Gravano, he's a homie. He's going to be on the podcast tomorrow. He's pushing another one, but these are things that are showing me that things are ripping. So for me, this is the one I'm looking at. I am completely into eDoge, and I think every chain needs its own mascot. The Ethereum Foundation has actually put their new logo with this like cat or whatever. You guys can check it out. So I'm expecting, and for this one, I de-risked. So like I'm chilling. I have my moon bag. That's why it's a beautiful thing. I don't really care. But as long as this yellow line holds, it's around 4.5 million. I think this thing is going to have a huge run. I don't know what it's to, but it's last wave. And, these things started from September 22nd. So if you do the law of meme coins, it's around 7 days. That 7 to 10 days will give you your first leg one, and then expect a multi-month correction. It happens all the time. So if for whatever reason, something gets close to 100 million, like 80 to 100 million in the first like 10 days, my advice, and I've been around, is to always get out of it. Always get out of it, or at least de-risk heavily, because the correction is going to come. And then what you do is you wait for the 88% correction to like 20 million or something, and then you start buying. You start buying heavy. So I'm into eDoge. What about you, Chris? Are you looking at anything on ETH or anything of that nature?
Yeah, I got a sleeper. Let's see. Make sure I have the right ticker. I got it on my phone, but I think cat meme coins are going to be a play. And after seeing what happened with Gua or Go, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but you know what I'm talking about. There's one meme coin that I've been looking at. This is a risk it for the biscuit type of situation, and also falls into the Shiba Inu of cats. And the name of this project is called Tora Nico. So Tora Nico if you guys have been following Shiba Inu, it's based off of the breed of dog that what's the name of the dog name? Is it like Shibosi? I
Yeah.
can't, something like that. So the cat Gua that is one of the owners of the original Shiba Inu dog. This project is like the breed of cat behind it, and since I saw that blow up, I've been actually targeting Toranico, and I've been waiting for a potential entry into this token. And believe it or not, I actually took an entry into this token today because we actually recently hit another local bottom testing the all-time low. So in my opinion, I think this one could be a potential. I also risk it for the biscuit. And we are getting to a point where we're going to be testing this resistance, which could lead us to a possible breakout. But also keep in mind, we need multiple confirmations. So this is a very high risk, high reward type of token.
I like it. I actually do like it. And honestly, bro, this is a gem. I'm happy actually you put it on my radar. This to me is extremely bullish. Let me show you the chart. Before when I see bullish things, bro, I just gotta share it. And so with Tora, so yeah, I've been in Tora for a little bit. I had to exit because this thing was just never dumping. But this chart to me seems like a perfect W pattern going. And I think this thing has completed its wave one, two. Oh man. So let's see. When did this retrace take it to? I'm very curious. Let's see. So yeah, you see, like this is a little double bottom one. Let's get my brush. Double bottom one, then a double bottom two. That's huge. So to me, well, this is like a W pattern. Boom, 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 boom. This thing is gonna run, I think. So I think this is one of those asymmetric bets that either just go parabolic or just go to zero. So for me, anything, a breakdown in this area and below, I'm hard out because this is the make or break. This is double bottom, and now it should go up. So I think this is pretty much the low, and it reclaimed the 888, or it should have. Yeah, it reclaimed the 888. You see this level? So it should never go below that. And so I think that's a gem, and I think I'm gonna have to rebuy back in. It's just too good, and Shrey likes it, so let's go.
Yeah. No, I think this thing's a play. And right when I first saw it, I was just like, I'm gonna let this thing play out because we had a mass correction from the original start and launch, and then now that we're starting to see meme coin season hit again,
yeah,
it was perfect timing. And here's the crazy part about this, dude. This thing was launched on September 17th, 2024. It was on an 8-day. So
let's go.
In my mind, it all makes sense to me, dude. So that was enough for me. So
let's go. I like it. No, I didn't know that. That's hella bullish.
Yeah. So I think ultimately, and the last thing I want to say, guys, I've been seeing cat meme coins blow up. Dog meme coins, a couple of them have been doing really well. The frog meme coins has done well. But in my opinion, I think the cat coins are going to catch a lot of people by surprise. And that's why I'm actually looking at cat coins right now. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I think I think cat coins are more bullish than dog coins. If we want to even get into astrology, I mean, this is the dog is your enemy year for the year of the dragon. Dragon and dogs are enemy, and that was actually my one concern this year with dog coins. And if you notice, SHIB hasn't done anything. Doge really hasn't done anything. It's a dog year, or a dog enemy year. So cats kind of are neutral, and I think if you're looking for another cat play, you should take a look at Ginin on Sol. Last thing I'll say on that one, I do want to share it. It's a cat meme, and I don't really mess with Sol too much, but I think Ginin is ready, and you have the right people pushing it. And this thing, just so you guys can see, this thing has just been consolidating. If you see, the wave one took us till let's see, sorry, wave one took us, this was in August, then the correction multi-month. And so if you notice, here's this blue line, been in place since August 17th. So it's been over a month. We just got a confirmation and broke. Right here is a break. So obviously we need to see and confirm, but I do think it got confirmed. You see how many of these lines are confirmed? So this is on the 4-hour. Obviously that's just one, but if you look at the 12-hour, so this thing, if you notice, it's above the green EMA with the blue curling up. I think this hits 100 million very fast, and that would be a 5x from here. And so when Soul moves fast, and yeah, dude, I think, and you see how it's kind of like an inverse head and shoulders forming, but again, it's a cat, and I do think cats are very valued at the moment, and Miggles is a cat. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, I think dogs will run well in the snake here. I really do. I think that's the time for the dogs. I really like after seeing some of these dog coins and how they did this year, it was pretty abysmal. I do think cats are the play. So, but yeah, man. Outside of that, a lot of alpha, talked about a lot of gyms, talked a lot about TA. We gave you guys so much info.
So much.
So if you guys could just do us a favor, because we gave you so much alpha, so much info, please share this out on X. Let's continue to reach new people, spread the word, spread the positivity, spread the vibes, because the more souls we touch, the more people we can impact. Bill, before we wrap this up, anything else you want to say?
No, man, I appreciate you. I love these live streams. For me, I love podcasting. I love interviewing clients and founders. That's great. But I do like to talk the trenches, because I'm in the trenches with you, with everybody, because not only is it, I feel like we have valuable info to give people. So if we can just impact 1 or 2 listeners, that's more than enough for me. So I love these shows, and I appreciate everyone tuning in.
Yeah, man. And hey, as always, dude, thank you so much for your awesome TA. And thank you so much for being a teacher, because not only are you a 33 Life Path, the master teacher, but you have a lot of valuable information and knowledge that can use to help other people. So shout out to you, man. And guys, please follow Bill the Bull at Late Night on Base. Support his work, follow the verse, support our live streams and all that good stuff. And we will see you guys next week on the next layer. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out.